Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be making these cards I've made on Pinterest recently and they've been well received, so I'm going to be making a different version and I'll be using the Magenta Madness for this one. So you will need a sheet of the designer series paper and some very vanilla. I do have this white for my card insert, so I'll have the full measurements in the description down below. But first we'll grab our very vanilla piece and I am just going to emboss this with the Tasteful Textiles just to give it a bit more interest. So okay, so that we can now glue on to our pieces just to assemble the front of the card. So I really like this card and I do love the 2020 to 2022 in colours. So I did do this one in the Magenta Madness, and the DSP is part of the Boho Indigo product medley. That's one of my favourite medley. The paper in there is just gorgeous. So I didn't want to post on the other side of this with beautiful flowers, but I did like this pattern. It's going to match the vase that I pick out to go on there. So just using my Tombow to, I love liquid glue. I can't glue straight, so it does give me a bit of wiggle room. So it is embossed. I decided to add a few more dabs there. So once that's glued on, I will just give it a tap just to level it out with the top so it's nice and straight. Then we'll grab our piece of very vanilla cardstock and I'm going to stamp vase, or if you're in America, the vase on there. So this is the Boho Indigo stamp set, so I'm just going to choose the one that where it does have the pattern similar to the DSP that I used. And I'm going to actually ink that up with the Night of Navy. So I really like this colour. It's beautiful. So we'll get that out, put away my glue. Yes, just clear up and make some space, because when there's ink, there is danger. I get ink everywhere. I won't lie, I'm a messy crafter. So I do decide to flip it out because somehow I managed to get ink on that piece on the left there. I'm not sure if you can sort of see. Stamp, bang, happy with that. Close that dangerous ink pad and put that aside. I did use the die cuts that come with this set and die cut that out for you guys. Alright, so next we will get our pieces. So I do have these die cuts. When I die cut pieces, I do tend to just do a few. So I'm getting that sentiment piece out and I'm sort of laying that out, and then I realised later that that sentiment piece is just way too big. So you will see me swap that out, but I decided just to grab a few pieces that had a little bit that had been cut out and I swapped over. So I just got a piece of a very vanilla scrap and I used that banner die cut, which is actually part of the Tasteful layers die set. So you can use your own whatever banner ones you have, but I thought, look, I didn't want such a huge sentiment piece. So you will see me muck around with how I want to arrange this. I'm not good with flower arrangements, so I'm just trying my best to sort of make it look a bit pretty, roughly how I want it to look, and then I will glue that on accordingly. So I'm pretty happy with how I want those pieces. Like I said, I did have quite a few pieces to choose from, so I'm getting my dimensionals out and making some space, and I'll just sort of stick that on to my vase piece. So I do want to make sure that I don't cover sort of the front part of the vase. I can sort of slip those little stems in for my little die cuts. I'm just going to use a bit of edge. My scissors are a bit blunt, so you will see me cut that off screen as I struggle, so that you can sort of see I've left that top bit clear. So you want to position the vase where you know, just sort of about 2/3 of the way down, just a bit after the halfway mark. And I've tried to memorize where I wanted those pieces. So using my liquid glue, I'm going to stick those down. I only want a little bit at the bottoms. I do want the edges to sort of have a bit more wriggle room, so there's a bit more dimension. They sort of naturally curl up anyway, so you don't really need to do much without it, with it. But yeah, we're just dabbing that liquid glue. It can get pretty messy, so I only just use little dots, but you will see me struggle with the glue later on as I try and squeeze it out. So I've probably stuffed up my arrangement as well. Halfway through taking it all apart, I've gone, oh, where did I want this? So I've moved it how I originally intended it, but that's okay. I think as long as it sort of looks all pretty, it's fine. So I think the gold foil really just adds that little touch of elegance and gives a bit of a wow factor there. So now I'm just gluing that last piece on, and I will sort of rearrange it. Just be careful with those stems, they are a little bit fragile, they are thin. So that's it. I just press a few things down, and now we're going to decide where I want that sentiment. So you sort of see me umming and ahhing, but decided to put it across the vase and bring out my Magenta Madness ink. I am using the Thank You. Definitely during these times, it's nice to say thank you to people that are helping you out. We're all going through tough times at the moment. And apologies for the flyaways. I really had to make sure I lined this one up because I didn't want to stamp it again. I wanted to get it nice and straight. And bang, yay, it's straight. So apologies for seeing the top of my head. Okay, so I'm going to stick this on, and I think I'm just going to use liquid glue because it's already dimensionals, and I don't want it too thick in case this does have to come out into the post. So you see me struggle with this liquid glue. I did have it sitting up for a while, and then I realised that I put a whole heap of right on the edge where it won't actually touch the vase. So you sort of see me scrape that off and put that on properly. And that's where I decided I wanted the sentiment to go. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's nice and straight, well, kind of, as I wriggle it into place. And that's the front of the card done. Let me put this glue aside so we can actually do the insert. Now, I did have a piece of Whisper White. I don't actually have any thin, very vanilla. So I think that would have looked better, but what can you do? Make do. So I'm bringing out my Magenta Madness and the same vase that I used for the front. I'm actually just going to put on the bottom right hand corner of my art card insert. So the good thing is with photopolymer, you can actually see where you've inked. So I did have some missing blotches, so that's why you see me tap that on the ink pad there. But I don't want to, I want a nice clear crisp image. So there we go, and putting that dangerous ink pad again to the side, and I'm just going to use my little piece of Magenta Madness leftover die cut and glue that straight on. And that's just to give it a bit more interest in the inside because we don't want naked insides. I generally do leave it blank. I might put a sentiment in later on or might not, depending on who I want to write the card to. So if I don't have much to say, I'll be sticking on a sentiment to take up space. But sometimes I do have a long message, so I do like to leave it blank for me to write my war and peace in the message in the insert. So that's pretty much the card insert done, and we will glue that on. Again, liquid glue is my friend, and I will fast forward this a bit because, we don't have time to watch glue dry. We're all very busy. So squishing that on, lining that up. And it's actually not too bad, but I did have to sort of squish it and using my bone folder, just flatten that edges out. And voila, there you go. That card is now done. So really happy, very simple card. Once you die cut all your pieces, it doesn't take long to assemble. And I'll, oh yes, I did remember that I have a little bit edge sticking, and being a slight perfectionist, I am going to trim that off. I did cut that a little bit bigger because I didn't want it to be short. I'd rather it be bigger and I trim it off. So bang, slice, and now it's even. And that is it. We are done. Very easy card, and I think it looks wow. Color combinations, I love the Magenta Madness with the Midnight of Navy, and then that's my other two cards that I used, that I've done previously. So please give this video a thumbs up, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.